welcome to this hour's English news package with radio and television Tonga news for tonight. Making headlines, young prince and princesses went to school this morning for the first time after returning home. Tonga and Australia signed a sister city agreement, and the Internal Affairs Minister denied accusations circulating on social media about the decline in the amount of financial assistance of elderlies and people living with disabilities. We'll have these and more stories later on in the bulletin, including the latest news from sports and the weather update to wrap up this hour's news package. Now for the stories in detail. The Free Wesleyan Church Primary School in Mamaloa Kindergarten warmly welcomed young members of the royal family as they started their first day at school today. The young prince and princesses have been in Australia for years as their father, the Crown Prince Nuku'alofa, undertook his master's degree. They returned earlier this month and today they are back at school. Alice Tupo with more on that story.
Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Sinaitakala walked from the Royal Palace with her three eldest children, Prince Taufa'aho Manmataongo, Prince Halaiwalu Mata'aho and Princess Nanaspa'u Eliana to Mamaloa Kindergarten, which is 3 minutes away from the palace. Students and teachers of a Free Wesleyan Church Primary School were excited to meet members of the royal family this morning. Some it's their first time to meet firsthand with the prince and princesses. As they entered the school, students were sitting on the ground with Tongan mats covering the walking path to mark their first day at school. It is indeed a historical day for Free Wesleyan Church Primary School to educate the young royals. Upon arrival, a prayer was conducted and continued with a warm welcoming speech by the President of the Free Wesleyan Church of Tonga, Reverend Dr. Devita Parefau. He says the school is honoured to have the young royals as students of the school, as it shows how significant education is to the nation and its development. He adds the Free Wesleyan Church Primary School Nuku'alofa was the second school in Tonga to be established in 1829 with the aim to educate students to be literate, especially with reading the Bible. A Peace Corps volunteer, Richard Emmers, then came to the school and added on more subjects like mathematics, science and nature of science. Part of this morning's welcoming program was students singing songs to entertain members of the royal family. Reporting for radio and television Tonga News, I'm Alice Tupo.
It is a historical event for Tonga and Australia to have signed a sister city agreement. This follows Her Royal Highness Princess Angelica Latu and the Mayor of Canada, Australia, signed an agreement for sister city Canada and Kolomotua on Friday last week. Her Royal Highness Princess Angelica Latu thanked the Mayor of Canada for choosing the town of Kolomotua as a sister city. She hopes the people of Kolomotua and also Tonga will take good advantage of this opportunity.
The opportunities Canada is providing for Kolomotua is where supply meets demand in areas such as a wide range of administrative, economic, investment, trade, agriculture, tourism, education, cultural, labor mobility, and other activities of mutual exchange benefit. This is also where our friendship begins and our people-to-people relations are strengthened. We hope that we will positively continue and progress in the spirit of the sister city friendly relations step by step into the future to learn and help each other. Thank you for choosing to partner with Tonga and for supporting Kolomotua.
She adds if Kolomotua can provide the numbers of seasonal workers needed by Canada, it will then open for other villages in Tonga. Meanwhile, the Mayor of Canada, Jamie Chaffee, says People in his village are grateful to work with hard-working people, but most importantly, Tongan people are reliable and respectful.
We are both passionate about the future of our homes and enthusiastic to form a partnership that will further our economies and culturally enrich our communities forevermore. In 2019, we reached out to the Tongan High Commission to explore the possibilities of a sister city relationship with the Kingdom of Tonga. A number of citizens from Tonga have lived and worked in Gunnedah for many years as seasonal workforce. They have built strong ties between their homes and ours. These Tongan nationals have proven that Tongan people are hard-working, reliable, respectful, and a loving people. There is a huge potential in broadening this into a formal relationship that we will be officially signing today. There are significant employment opportunities both here and in Gunnedah in agriculture and far beyond. We can provide experience and support for Tongan nationals. We can share our skills, training, culture and tourism. Our horizons for this wonderful sister city relationship, I believe, are endless. We have so much to offer, and so do our friends in Kolamatua. I look forward to this relationship growing and strengthening as we explore the possibilities that it opens for both of us. Welcome to our Tongan friends, and we say welcome to your second new home here in Gunnedah.
However, the signing of the agreement for a close cooperation between the two villages was approved by Cabinet. With Tonga's vulnerability to the impacts of climate change, there's hope that the nation would receive more funding from the Green Climate Fund. The funds will help with Tonga's recovery period since the volcanic eruption in January and the impacts of COVID-19. Alice Tubo will tell you more on that story.
The issue was discussed between the Executive Director of GCF, Yannick Clemeric, and the Prime Minister, Honorable Huakamamiliku, in Kigali, Rwanda. Clemeric said necessary support will be provided to develop other projects that may assist mitigate and adapt to the effects of climate change, focusing on high-impact projects. Not only that, but GCF are working on the latest Tonga proposal on coastal resilience for possible board consideration early 2023. Honorable Huakamamiliku then thanked the Executive Director of GCF and hoped that the GCF will work together with Tonga's government in building a more climate resilient. The GCF was established by 194 governments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in developing countries, also to help vulnerable societies adapt to the unavoidable impacts of climate change. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has travelled to Portugal for the United Nations Ocean Conference. It started today, Monday, the 27th. Reporting for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Alice Tubo.
The Honourable Minister of Internal Affairs, Sione Sengsta Saulala, denied false accusations circulating on social media about the decline in the amount of financial assistance towards elderlies and people living with disabilities. He stated that the government has not yet to make such decision and it's false and it's misleading. Radio Tonga News contacted the government for clarification on this matter but said there will be a cabinet meeting today to discuss the issue. And New Zealand police are still investigating those who were involved in a clash among spectators at the New Zealand Kiwis versus the Matemaha Tonga test match on Saturday night. This investigation follows one person hospitalized after bottles hurled from a corporate box at the children below the stadium. Alice Lubo takes up that story.
This investigation follows one person hospitalized after bottles hurled from a corporate box at the children below. A video posted on social media showed three men with Tongan flags climbing from the stands towards a cardboard box. 2 men attempted to force their way inside the box before another threw a chair at one of the glass windows, causing it to crack. The incident left fans nearby fearing for their safety as the 2 groups exchanged projectiles. According to the News Hub News at New Zealand, a witness told them someone threw a bottle from the VIP area and hit a little girl in the lower level where they were seated. However, Mount Smart Stadium issued an apology to those affected, and they will review both the incident and its current class policy, as the safety of their patrons is of fundamental importance. Police investigation continues. Reporting for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Alice Tupo.
And that wraps up this evening's English news package. But before we part, here's one final look at today's top stories. Young prince and princesses went to school this morning for the first time after returning home. Tonga and Australia signed a sister city agreement, and the Internal Affairs Minister denied accusations circulating on social media about the decline in the amount of financial assistances of elderlies and people living with disabilities. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Paula. Have a pleasant evening.